Physical ergonomics is a very important domain of ergonomics. Physical ergonomics is concerned with human anatomical, anthropometric, physiological, and biomechanical characteristics for physical activity. Let me give you one example of anthropometry. I'm showing the data of anthropometric data in the United States. It was issued in 1989. And the data is in millimeter of American adults aged from 19 to 60 years old. And you could see two groups of the data. The first group about men, the second group about women. And the first dimension is stature, basically body height. How high are people? And in the data, it shows 5% percentile, 50% percentile, and 95% percentile data. When we say 50% percentile, we don't mean average. Imagine we have 100 American gentlemen from 1 to 100, and we ask them to line up according to their height. 50 percentile means the person of number 50. So this is not an average height of Americans, but it tells you the person in the middle, not so tall, not so short. And the 50 percentile is 1.755 meter. Remember, the data was issued in 1989, about 25 years ago. Again, 1.755 meter. So meaning about 50% people taller than this, and 50% of people shorter than this. How about American ladies? In the data, it shows 1.628 meter. 50% percentile, meaning in the middle, the American lady's height is 1.628 meter. Besides stature, there are other dimensions like eye height, shoulder height, elbow height, hip height, so on and so forth. But these data are all for standing people. If I sit down, then the data also tells sitting height, sitting eye height, sitting shoulder height, so on and so forth. Why do we need data of eye height? If we go shopping, we find out the products near the eye height can be saw easily. Products too high or too low are difficult for people to see, for people to check. So different dimensions can help us to design the environment. These are American data. How do you think about Chinese data? So usually we think Chinese people shorter. Let me show you the data. Again, issued in 1989 to compare with American data. This data issued by Chinese Standard Bureau. They have a research institute. They have done anthropometric measurement. And first of all, for men, from 18 to 60, 50% percentile height is 1.678 meter. Remember, American data is 1.755 meter. Actually, this is a big difference. You may argue the big difference may not be so big, but if we talked about the big population of China, the population of America, you understand this difference is quite big. Very interesting, when Chinese Standard Bureau issued the data, they also included the data of younger male, and the 50% percentile was 1.686, a little taller than the big group compared to the group of 18 to 16. The group of 18 to 25 is taller. That was about stature. And also in the data, there is a dimension of body weight, length of arm, length of legs, so on and so forth. Let's move on to see Chinese ladies. Again, there are two groups. For the first group, from 18 to 55. The second group is from 18 to 25. And the 50% percentile height of the first group was 1.57 meter. And the second group, which is a younger group, is 1.58 meter. A little difference. But relatively, we see ladies are shorter than men. For Americans, yes. For Chinese, yes. The relevant research topics to physical ergonomics include work postures. Like right now, you're still learning, you're studying. You may sit on your chair. What is your posture? And topics like materials handling, repetitive movements, work-related repetitive injuries, workplace layout, safety, and health are all very important in physical ergonomics. Many people have experienced back pain, or we should say lower back pain for many people. Some work postures may lead to lower back pain. Some hand postures may lead to carpal tunnel syndrome. When people type on keyboard, when you use your computer, your hands can travel across the keyboard for miles. Thinking about it all day long, if you work using your computer, if you study using a computer, your hands travel a lot. And if your wrist angle too high or too low, then you may feel pain or it's just uncomfortable. And some serious problems could be carpal tunnel syndrome. And nowadays, we see programmer's elbow more than tennis elbow. If tennis players do not know how to use their hands, they may develop tennis elbow. If we do not use our mouse or keyboards in an appropriate way, if our hand posture, if our wrist angle not so good, then we may have programmer's elbow. These are all related to physical ergonomics. So if you try to stay healthy, because we will have to use computers for a long time, I think most of you are pretty young. You want to avoid carpal tunnel syndrome or any other repetitive stress injuries. I give you some suggestions. When you use your keyboard, try to use straight posture like this. Do not have very high wrist angle, and do not press the button too hard. And give a little rest. And relax your hands, your arms, or your body after certain times, after long work. Do not work in front of computers for a long time without changing your posture, without relax your hands, your fingers, your arms, or your shoulders.